My name is Amy Severino, and I live in New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire. And I've been, dabbling in the arts analog for probably over 20 years. And then recently, maybe back in 2023, learned a little bit more about digital art and using Procreate. And that's when I really got involved in learning surface pattern design and just surface design in general. I didn't even know there was an industry out there. And then once I learned about it, I just dove in. Before I took Kat Cocolette's Art of Collections class, the place I was in my art journey was really at the very beginning. I understood on some level that it was important to put together a portfolio, but I did not have one. I had a very disorganized group of files that I considered like where my art was. I didn't really have a cohesive place to put them. So I was definitely in the very, very beginning stages. I had no real understanding of how to put together a portfolio, what the portfolio should contain, how it should be organized, or even like how to handle like my files themselves. So that was something that I really was curious because there's so much like, it just feels like a mystery, basically. Like, oh, I have this piece of art. Does this person out in the internet ether, who am I supposed to send it to? And is it supposed to be a JPEG? Is it supposed to be a layered file? All these things, just completely clueless, but yet I had questions about it. So I knew that there was a lot I needed to learn about it. The place I was at when I realized I wanted to join the Art of Collections was I had been creating a few patterns, again, from Skillshare, some learnings I did on Skillshare. But what was happening for me was I was starting to just do what a lot of artists do, I think, or any person in any field that they're learning. They start learning some of the basics and then they take it and they make it their own and they start doing it. So I started creating a lot of patterns with things that I love, like birds and botanicals and so on and so forth, and started getting them printed on print on demand. A couple of pieces I made started getting like a million compliments. And I was just like, oh, maybe some of what I can do here has some legs. And then I just said, all right, well, so what should I do? Should I just keep putting it on Redbubble or what? And that just felt very unsustainable, obviously. When I had still been taking a lot of courses on Skillshare, and Kat has always been one of my favorite instructors on there anyway, top 5, top 3 for that matter, or whatever. She's fantastic. I love her transparency. Then I joined her newsletter and whatnot. And so when she started teasing out that she was putting out this course, I was very interested. She just is a success clearly already, but also I love her teaching style. And again, she's very transparent. So I just felt very excited thinking, I know I'm going to get a lot of knowledge if I take this course. And she had offered a bonus at the beginning too. So I was pretty excited to see if I could get to that limited time bonus as well. Yeah. And maybe, for sure, a little fangirling going on for sure, She's definitely somebody I admired. And I thought, oh, it would be super fun to be in a course and just have like some access to an instructor who I actually very much admire and would love to learn from. So really just excited about having a great mentor as well. I felt like so many times you get these teasers and you just feel like, it feels like there's a lot of gatekeeping out there. And I don't know if it's intentional to try and get you to buy the product, whatever it is, but I just feel like straight out of the gate, Kat is very transparent about her knowledge. And I just knew that I was going to get that experience if I took the course as well. I would describe the Art of Collections as a very expansive course that really shows an artist how to look at portfolio creation from the eyes of a licensor with some very actionable steps. It's a very structured course. There's a lot of really meaty material in there where Kat takes you you can be a very beginner. I mean, I think if you can make some art, you can take her course and probably succeed wildly if you follow all of her steps. Because she'll take you right from the beginning of brainstorming an idea for a collection, whereas you might have thought, oh, I can't make a collection. She's literally going to give you the tools of how to brainstorm something, which seems like crazy, but she's really good at doing that. So like even starting something so basic, like to the very beginning of starting a collection, and then taking you through every step of making that collection, how it should look on a file, what files you should have, how they should be organized, all the way to how you promote yourself and how you start looking for licensors and how you reach out to them, how you follow up with them, how you negotiate a contract, like literally from the beginning of the idea to the very end of hopefully seeing it on a product. That's in this course. Additionally, there's a fantastic community, which I found to be a bonus to this course, where there's lots and lots of artists in every stage of the game. Some people just starting out, some people having been doing it for a while, some people having been doing it for a while but just learning about licensing or wanting to do licensing. And there's so much collective knowledge there. And not only that, but lots of encouragement. And it's very motivating. If someone is unsure about joining, I would absolutely encourage them to join. I really loved my time while I took the course. It was very motivating for me, and I learned so much. So, I would just say, if you aren't already a successfully licensed artist, that you can absolutely learn from this course, and I'd say absolutely go for it. The thing that surprised me most about being in the program was definitely the community. I made lots of friends while I was there, but there was just so much heart there and so much encouragement, and it just felt very motivating to go hop on there and post an update or post a collection and hear from all of your cohort members. And so much experience was in there. So many people had so much experience to share as well. And it's just fun too, to see, everybody has one assignment, for a collection each month, and then just to see all the different approaches that people take. It just shows you too that there's so much creativity out there, and if you think everybody's doing the same thing, that you're wrong. They're not. There's so much to see out there, and so you just learn so much from your fellow members in the community. So that was probably the thing that surprised me the most while I was in the course. Kat was absolutely very present and very there for everybody. She was in the collective so often, commenting on people's posts, encouraging everybody. But again, even those little interactions, just even a few comments sometimes were so educational and helpful. I also really loved all of the critiques that Kat did. So that was a fun surprise. I kind of didn't think I would learn as much as I did, because members can submit their collection to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, constructive criticism. Even if it's not your collection, you learn so much from all the stuff that Kat says, oh, change this, do that, this is good, but it's not, it will read better to a licensor if you do this way, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I guess it just boils down to the community over and over again. That was probably my biggest and best surprise for the course. I was definitely feeling unsure for a long time if I had my own style or anything like that. And at one point I had posted one of my collections, and Kat hopped right on and just said, I didn't even see who posted it. I knew it was you, and that means you have a good style. Or not a good style, that means you have a distinctive style. And I just thought, oh, that feels amazing. And I did feel, and this was towards the end of my time in the course, so I'd absolutely been making a lot of art and a lot of collections. So that felt pretty great to know that, she was feeling that way when she came across the art. So since I've taken the course, I've certainly seen a transformation in my art practice. I definitely think about collections when I'm creating any artwork now, because it's the art of collections. So of course, that's what we're thinking about. Since I took the course, it's structured in such a way with the monthly challenges and so on and so forth that I found it very easy to be motivated every month to get a collection going. So I knew that I was going to, when I took the course, I said, I'm going to make a collection for every month. I was lucky. I ended up making even more than that. So for me, what ended up changing is I started with, I think, exactly one collection when I started the course. And then I ended up with 22 collections at the end of the time in the course. So that was great. Also, of course, just having the knowledge that I have now has absolutely transformed the way I think about everything I'm doing when I'm making art, whether it means that I'm making art for a collection, or whether it means I am structuring my time in such a way that I have to, slot certain times for doing the other development, not just the art, which is structuring the time to give time for researching who to pitch to, getting those pitches out, creating a schedule to get that going, doing some self-promotion, so on and so forth. So the course does provide so much knowledge, so many tools, that now that I have the tools, I know I can say, all right, this is what I need to do, and now I can structure the time to do it. So it's just really transformed kind of the way I approach my art licensing journey. Well, I do have a full-time job, so my time is definitely limited, and that's actually part of the reason why I wanted to take the course, because I don't really have time to waste trying to find that information. I said, let me take this course, and I know I will get everything the knowledge that I need to pursue an art licensing career. Because I have a full-time job and it is definitely a little more than 40 hours a week plus commuting. So lucky for me, making art is very relaxing for me. So I am able to, at the end of my day, when I sit down and relax on the couch, I typically have my iPad with me and I'm making art. For me, having the structure of the course was very helpful because then I always had a very reachable, actionable goal every month as far as my collections were concerned. So that was great because sometimes you just need to take the what you're going to do out of the equation and just be like, oh, that's my thing I have to do this month. And so that's what I would do. And so that's how I would work on those things. I also tended to try to at least make one piece of art with Kat's weekly prompt that she puts out in her newsletter. So between those two things, I always found a way to make art in my schedule. And in regards to more of the business side and self-promotion and marketing side, that is definitely a little more challenging for me. But I will say, and a credit again to the course, is we've had some fantastic speakers in the course while I was in the course. And I got more tools, as a bonus that I wasn't even expecting. So one of our cohort members taught us all how to, introduce, I should say, like a platform like Notion. Maybe it's not for everybody. Turns out it's for me. I was able to really put some of that into a structure that really helps me stay organized, whether it be, with my pitch tracking, my schedule, so on and so forth, just even small projects of how I want to start pitching and researching things. I also had gotten introduced to Megan Williamson, and it's just funny because then it leads you down a path sometimes. We might have gotten a speaker or somebody taught us about something in there, and I was able to explore things that ended up giving me a very, I guess as an example, like for Pinterest, I did take the Pinterest course. As an aside, I did utilize it for my day job as well. What ended up happening is I got really kind of into the implications of how you can market with Pinterest and ended up coming up with this just really very smooth workflow that I was able to just put into my workflow literally every week now. So now I'm adding a new web page with collections on it once a week, setting up 10, 15 pins every week. So all of a sudden, something that felt super overwhelming to me prior to taking this course, because I had this bonus speaker come in and teach me something, I went down this road that ended up giving me a lot of great tools so that I can do that self-promotion. So really, just that one aspect is only taking me between 20 to 40 minutes a week to do something that I was a year ago, I probably would have been I would never be able to do 15 pins a week, but now, or add a new web page to my website. Now I'm adding 1 to 3 pages to my website and all these pins in 30 or 40 minutes a week. So that's one way I find time. I'm still working towards some of the other things I need to learn how to do better, whether it be researching companies or doing more pitching. I just usually try to target, I have 2 days off a week, thankfully. So I will usually target, maybe half a day on one of my days off to just work towards business goals. And so for me, I understand some people just do this full time and that they have a lot more time to put towards it. For me, I feel comfortable knowing that, the road to an art licensing career might be slower for some people than it is for others. And that's okay because, again, I feel comfortable because I have all the tools and I know what to do. And when I have the time, I do it. So before I took the art of collections, I had just learned about what surface pattern design was and that there was a whole industry out there that I could be submitting my art to. I had been taking a lot of Kat's classes on Skillshare, so I really, she was so knowledgeable on those classes that I just felt I had so much more to learn from her if I took her class. So I just really, I was just feeling like I needed to just find out kind of the ins and outs of creating a portfolio and how to look for potential licensors, and specifically also what am I supposed to say if I reach out to them. I had a little bit of knowledge just based on what I learned self-taught from, or not self-taught, but learning things I learned on Skillshare, maybe some YouTube videos, and there's a lot of educators out there that offer information about it. So but I did not really have a good understanding of how much there was to learn, basically, about the industry. If you wanted to find me to ask me any questions about the course or connect as a fellow artist, I have a website. It's www.amysevarts.com, or on Instagram @amysevarts as well.